to maximize on it. So the next game that we're going to be going into, Integrity Gaming is sending out Gemini, and his opponent from Team Killing Spree will be Jig. And we do have some information on Gemini for you this evening. Gemini, you can find him on twitter.com/ggemini19. He's also on twitch.tv/GeminiSCTV. And he started playing StarCraft at the end of the Wings of Liberty beta. He started as a Masters and has consistently performed, recently drastically improving and getting pretty close to Grandmasters. He plays at local New York City lands and has won 5th at the Cybercraft LAN. He's won Gosu Pizza and Zeke Weekly tournaments, and he considers himself to play a macro style, likes to emulate builds popular with Koreans with the exception of PvP, where he favors aggression and mind games.
Mind games. Hashtag mind games.
Who doesn't like mind games in PvP? I mean,
this is actually a PvZ.
Fun. Yes. So not going to come into a whole lot of relevance in this particular match, but more Zerg.
Yep.
For anybody who's interested in that.
Well, jumping right on into the game, on merry-go-round LE, our Protoss opponent in the teal, in the bottom of the map, is Integrity Gaming's Gemini.
And in the top right-hand corner of the map, sporting that oh-so politically correct name there, Zerg, and playing for Team Killing Spree, it is Jig.
So PvZ merry-go-round, definitely one of my favorite maps, just because, you know, you're talking about mind games. It is a little mind gamey because you can't really do a lot of those super crazy rush builds or proxies because there is the possibility that your opponent could be in any one of 2 spots.
Yes.
And this music is a little loud. Let me just change that real quick. Holy moly, look at that.
So some playful banter going on here. I'm going to refer to Jig as Jack here, just to avoid confusion. But yeah, Gemini and Jack having some playful banter as they're moving around here. Gemini has successfully scouted his opponent, and Jack is also doing some scouting as well, moving across. It looks like Jack was unaware of the Protoss race being his opponent this evening.
Oh, that is always a surprise to find out the race of your opponent when it was possible to see it previously, but no big deal. Pylon right at the natural expansion. Looks like this is going to be a Nexus first out of Gemini. Definitely a pretty decent play here in this situation where you're really delaying Jack's hatchery here, and also Jack does not yet know where exactly you live.
Right, and Jack doesn't even have the money to put down the hatchery yet, so he's just trying to get a kill off on that probe, but the probe was able to let some of those shields regenerate. It's not going to die this day, so the hatchery does go down behind that, and more scouting is done.
Yeah, soon enough, Jack will be finding his opponent, but this is going to be a spawning pool popping here relatively quickly. Gemini is aware of it, so he's going to be putting down a forge here to get that cannon up and ready and get that walled off. This is we've seen a few games on this map where Protoss has, when they've scouted the opponent early, they've had, I feel like, a little bit of an advantage because in the situation of Jack, he doesn't really have any clue what Gemini has done here, and I feel like especially in PvZ, that early scouting is so important. I mean, let's be honest, it's important in every match, but
sure.
And I so wish I loved watching that proxy hatch spine crawler queen push that Scarlet did against Huck. I wish we would see that more often.
So Jack is able to see the front wall there now. He's aware that it's kind of a forge fast expand style here. And it looks like that probe for Gemini is doing a star in the 12 o'clock base, expecting a third to be put down there. That is not where it went after all. It did go in the forward third.
Yeah, this is actually a map where it's really hard to get the 4th base, and a lot of times even hard to get the 3rd. So I like what Jack is doing here, taking that 3rd right away, now knowing that it was Nexus first for Gemini. But for Protoss, it is next to impossible to get that 3rd base. So Yeah, Gemini's going to have to do something strong here off of 2 to really give himself some time and space to be able to do that. We've seen so many games where the Protoss has such difficulty sitting with that third base and ends up just kind of mining out, running out of income, and then end up in a really bad spot.
It is true. So you got to expand in order to continue to play. So it looks like Stalker is going to be coming out to try and plug that hole. When I think he forewent that Zealot. Yeah, sure did. Only been making the probes, and Stargate is what we're going to be seeing. So that's an interesting choice coming out against the Zerg player. What do you think about that?
I like Stargate. Depends on what he ends up coming out with. We've seen a lot more Oracle in PvZ lately, and with the control. Obviously, that works out pretty well, but I feel like it's not the best matchup for that. There was a probe kind of hiding out here in the right side, right under an Overlord, looking like he wanted to put down something, but maybe noticing that Overlord was there, made a second guess and decided to not do that. But what do you think we will see out of this Stargate air delegation?
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go with Phoenix. Oh, this Overlord. He wants to see. He wants to see, but he's not going the right way, and he will not see. Unless, and look, there's the Phoenix going to be going pretty much in the same direction that Overlord is. And suddenly now, Jack was supply blocked there for a second, and if this Overlord dies, he's going to be supply blocked once again. He does have 2 in production, so it's not going to affect him for too long there.
Wow, we have a 7-minute layer coming out here for Jack.
Yeah, very quick.
So, I mean, there are going to be Phoenix on the field here right quick, so Gemini is going to be aware of exactly what's going on, and I totally love Gemini's play here. This is one of my favorites. The Phoenix, he's probably going to get 4 to 5 and then go right on into Robo Colossus. So a very strong play. Zerglings here are going to pop up front. They are going to see the Phoenix flying over, and +1 attack is going down, so that is definitely going to tell Jack that it is not going to be an all-in air type of play, researching them ground upgrades, so he's going to move them Zerglings back. But what is he going to do with this layer?
Yeah, that's the big question. I mean, the hope here from Gemini is that, you know, Hydro Extend is going to go down, and that would play really well into the hand of Colossus, but it looks like...
there's that Hydralisk Den, so yep, that is exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, it looks like Roach Hydra. We've been seeing a lot of Roach Hydra lately. I think it's a really strong build, and it's a lot of fun to play, I think. So,
especially in PvZ.
Yeah, so you get those Roaches, you get those Hydras, and a lot of times people now are adding those Vipers in there too, which are super strong to be able to pull any Colossus or any other annoying units into the fray. But I gotta say that the Ling Hydra with Viper, I think, is a little bit more fun. It's a little, I feel like it's faster. You know, it's not as kind of tanky, but it feels like a faster mobile army, if you will.
Yeah, Jack is up to 60 drones now. Looks like he's really starting to increase that number with the 4th base going down. Wants to get up to that high number. Definitely a good plan to put down those Spore Crawlers, that static D to keep those Phoenix away. And definitely good to not overreact to the Phoenix, because that's exactly as Protoss what you want Zerg to do. See Phoenix, freak out, oh, another Queen does pop, and it's actually going to live another day. So it looks like it's going to be a total of 5 Phoenix here is going to be all she wrote. Oh, a nice play with this Warp Prism, force fielding off the ramp and warping in a bunch of Zealots, but they're just kind of hanging out. Now going to move on in.
Yeah, and this is really not good for Jack here. There is a lot in his base, and the ramp is force fielded. He is not going to be able to get in there to defend against this. All that there's really there is Queens and drones, and the Zealots are making short work of all of that.
Yeah, and there are no army units in the main base of Jack, and he just has so many sentries down here with quite enough energy for, I believe, it looks like 2 more force fields warping in another sentry, so there's going to be nothing entering the main base of Jack here anytime soon.
I do like that play there by Jack. He's moving his drones over by his Hydralisks. If he can't get into the main, he's going to at least bait out units to try and kill, but that... I mean, he's just going to lose the majority of what's in his main here. There are a few Hydralisks that were able to pop out, trying to kite those Zealots to try and do some damage, controlling multiple groups at the same time, and those drones now are moving in to try and get some surrounds going. He did pull them off, it looks like, and is going to be doing that lure back to the Hydralisk once again. Did pull off, oh, is going to be able to get that sentry. So that's helpful, but still under a lot of duress here, and 12 workers have been killed by Gemini during this front, but he's got to focus down this layer now, and that's going to be, this is just really painful if you're Jack in this situation.
Now the drones coming after the sentries, which is going to bring an end to the blockade at the wall of Jack. So he is going to end up just coming on down with these Zealots, and Hydralisks are going to end up cleaning them up. But really, it just feels like a good control play out of Gemini. Great control, great execution with that. You could tell that's exactly what he wanted to do. In the meantime, now he has, it looks like, one Colossus on the field, another in production, and range is almost done. So he's sitting exactly where he wants to be. But Gallegation, the question I have for you is, do you think he went for Hydralisks a little too fast?
They were very useful in that engagement, so I think that in that sense that they were good to have, because if he didn't have them, then he was really in trouble in that last engagement. If he had only had roaches, for example, that wouldn't have gone as well for him, I don't think. It definitely left a window of opportunity open, which Gemini was able to capitalize on. But overall, I think it was probably a good move. But now these Phoenix are getting taken out, and it looks like there is no third base for Gemini in sight. He's just going to be continuing to hammer on 2 bases to try and bring his opponent down. Now roaches are entering into the mix here, but this Colossus is going to be able to do big damage, and Immortals are in that army as well.
Yeah, this is going to be really rough, especially with the number of sentries here. We've got 8 sentries on the field, and each of them has at least 2 force fields, if not 3. So it is going to be a barbecue city up here with all these Hydralisks. If he can land these force fields appropriately, there are a good number of Zealots, and with that Immortal there, nice force field splitting off that army entirely. A couple more up in the middle, and he will be able to segregate it once again, but he is going to pull back a little bit as the Hydra is doing a little bit too much damage to the sentries. It seems like he could have kind of kept that push going there, but...
Well, it seemed like the Colossus were kind of attacking on the wrong side. They were where all the roaches are, and the Hydras were where all the sentries are, and that just didn't go so well. But once again, pushing forward, this third is just nowhere going to be happening. Now, remote mining from his 4th, which is now his new 3rd, and Zealots are in the main base from a Warp Prism in the back, so Jack has really got a lot of defending to do here, while the main Protoss ball kind of pushing up the gut.
Yeah, I mean, really, Gemini, this is really, I can't say anything but just great execution. He's been just really pulling Jack around like a marionette, which is exactly the plan and play with this. And nice force fields again are going to segregate this army very fantastically. Basically, free kills for these Colossus, just trying to reposition his units and getting roasted in the meantime, and that's going to be GGGN.
The new GG.
Yeah, so Integrity Gaming coming out really strong here in a couple of very decisive games, definitely. We haven't seen a lot of really, at least the games we have cast. We have not cast any really big walkover games so far. So what do you think that Jack could have done differently to kind of hold that off a little better?
That is an interesting question there. I've been in that position. I'm not good against Protoss, so I've been in that position quite a bit, and I usually get stomped by it. I mean, it's you just got to identify that it's going to be 2 base, kind of all in, and prepare for that accordingly. Not try and go for that huge economy like Jack was trying to do. Because, I mean, it's awesome when you can get like 4 to 5 bases as Zerg. You've got close to 80, 90 drones, and you can do whatever. You've got all the money in the world. But you've got to survive to that point in order to make it work. And that's the tricky bit, is to have kind of those windows where you're very vulnerable. You've only got a couple of units, and you just got to be everywhere at once in order to make that work. And Jack was just being pulled in too many directions, not really able to handle it, and getting pulled into the directions that I think Gemini really wanted him to get pulled into, which is the Roach Hydra build. And with Immortals and Colossus, that's a pretty good unit. So
that's also where I kind of felt like, I mentioned that I thought those Hydras were a little faster. Just kind of with the 7-minute layer going immediately for Hydralisks, and then kind of getting Roaches as an afterthought to the Hydralisks. I just feel like that leaves you open to a lot of really early aggressive plays like that, because, I mean, he really didn't, when he hit with that the sentries and Warp Prism in his main base, he really didn't have that much. Those Hydralisks came out after that attack was already kind of in play. So, I'm
just not sure that if he had a large army of roaches, he could have counterattacked. But I mean, the sentries were there force fielding the ramp. The roaches weren't going to get in there and help with that necessarily. They would have been kind of out front, and that War Prism would have skated on by. And I think a similar thing would have still happened even if he had roaches.
Yeah, but it was a good game. Nice to see a PVZ well played by both players. So Integrity Gaming is going to go to a 2-0 lead to start this match out. Is Team Killing Spree going to be able to come back, or is Integrity Gaming going to keep that momentum going? Momentum we've seen has been pretty important, but also has been shifted around pretty quickly and reversed quite easily so far. But before we jump into game number 3, we want to tell you quickly about our sponsor this season. They are Mythologic. They're a really cool company. They're actually local to us. They build some pretty sweet gaming laptops and even desktops. If you are in the market for anything like that, or have friends that are looking for a laptop, there are lots of options out there now, so definitely check them out. They are at mythologic.com. You can find them on Twitter at mythologic. Go through and spec out a system. They're really cool guys. They'll talk to you, do any custom things you want, have some really neat, cool custom graphics too if you want to really bling it out. And I believe maybe we might be doing the live final show live on site at Mythologic. We'll see. We're still working out the details of that. But they are awesome. I am Winged SC. With me is Gallegation. We have been your casters throughout this entire season. And we love you and we love your feedback. So if you have any feedback about the season or what you would like to see in the live final, definitely tweet at us. I am at Winged SC, and my friend here is at Gallegation. We definitely welcome that. And Gallegation, do we want to give out a code now? What do you,
we absolutely want to give out a code. So if you are not aware, if you haven't been hanging out with us for very long, we are doing giveaways this season. So far, we've been able to give away a Corsair gaming mouse and a gaming headset, courtesy of Mythologic, but we still have one more gift to give to you. It is a Corsair mechanical gaming keyboard, again, courtesy of Mythologic. That will be given away on our Grand Finals event on June 28th. We'll be starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and that will be given away at some point during the day, so make sure you tune in to that. But in order to get entered, just go to SC2CTL.com/giveaway. You'll see all these different things for Facebook and Twitter. If you like or follow those things, then each time you enter a code, you will get an additional entry for each one of those things. So you'll get an entry for the code, and then each one of the things that you like or follow. So it can multiply very quickly, get yourself lots and lots of entries. And so yeah, 2 codes per show usually, and we will give out the first one right now. Mr. Wingnut SC, do you happen to know what our first code is?
Our first code of the night, Gallegation, is going to be Scarlet. SCAR.
Actually, that is not true.
Oh, that's what I said.
That's what you... Yeah,
Did Troy do something silly?
He did something silly.
No,
he did not.
Never mind, it's not Scarlet.
It is not Scarlet.
I really
that was
wanted
a red
it to be.
herring. The actual code this evening is going to be Fries.
Fries? That's...
Yes.
Troy. Fine.
So, Fries is the code. So go to SC2CTL.com/giveaway, enter that code in there, and you will get signed up, have a chance to have your name drawn for that Corsair mechanical gaming keyboard that will be given away on June 28th.
And I am showing my mechanical gaming keyboard to you right now. It is sleek, it is cool, it is awesome. It's micro-sized. Very cool. I would certainly be excited to win it, but I'm not eligible, so some other cool person is going to get it.
Yes. So, Richimaru BW is asking, where do you put the code? Just go to SC2CTL.com/giveaway. On there, there's going to be all those follow things. You put in your email address, and then you type in the secret code right underneath that, and then hit enter, and you are all set.
All right, and with that, we have a 2-0 lead in favor of Integrity Gaming. We're going to be moving on into game number 3, and